everyone! I did a video before about at-home bar food where I tried chicken feet and intestines. The chicken feet was frozen and microwaved and it still retained its really good texture and flavor, but the intestines that I tried were kind of in this shelf-stable bag that I had to boil in the bag, and the flavor was fine, but the texture just wasn't there, and half the point of eating intestines is to enjoy the texture. Now I kept a lot of this stuff on just to hope to keep the heat in, and this also helps us know which one is which. So this one here is fire makchang from a pig. Makchang is going to be like the large intestine, so this is the butt end of the pig, and this guy here is gopchang. Gopchang is going to be the small intestine. Both of them were supposed to be quite spicy. When I was microwaving them, they were also quite spicy. And we're going to pair this with some non-alcoholic Heineken. So we're going to go ahead and do that. Let's just crack this guy open and give it a taste. That tastes like Heineken. I was a little worried because I've had a non-alcoholic dark Heineken before, and actually it tasted really similar to like a sarsaparilla type of root beer. So let's go ahead and crack this guy open. I had to cook all of these, hoping that we could get them all at the same time to finish, so that way they're all hot together when we're eating them. And the one thing that I hate about filming these videos, not hate, just a little annoying I guess, is that if I make a mistake, you know, I lose a word or something, I can't really go back and fix it, but I guess maybe I should start editing, huh? All right, so here is what we've got. We can see here, yes, they are the big intestine, right? The large guy here and the small intestine here. Now it appears that they have cut these in like the donut shape. Got a little cat hair here, delicious. I also noticed that a lot of times when I'm doing videos where I'm eating something, I tend to use my Hello Kitty type of wooden chopsticks, and I just wanted to use these flat metal chopsticks. These are the ones that are more common in Korea. So let's give this a try. We're hoping that it's chewy, so let's go for it. It's chewy, you can hear it. Sorry if you guys are not big fans of that ASMR stuff. I'm not either, but just to hear the texture. I bet you stop talking with my mouth open, right? I realize now that I made the same mistake as before, and I forgot to bring tissue. Whenever I eat something hot, not just spicy, but like temperature hot, my nose starts running. If you were to get something like this at a bar or a restaurant, you're going to have it served sort of as a DIY lettuce wrap. You're going to get sliced raw garlic that you can add. They're going to have some sliced spicy raw peppers as well that you can add. A bunch of different sauces if you like. Sometimes there's like an onion salad. I don't have any of that, so what I did was, well, I did have a sauce, which is a vegan chipotle mayonnaise, which I haven't tried. Sliced garlic and sliced cucumber is all I had on hand, so it's kind of nice with it. All right, so let's go ahead and try this guy just by itself. So this is more tubular, I guess you can say about it. The other one's kind of shaped like a donut. This one's a lot tougher. Maybe I just got a funky piece. Let's try another one. It's a bit too tough. I'll move this guy out of the way. Now, out of the two, I actually prefer the large intestine. I think it's got more of a flavor to it, a funky flavor to it. And the reason I kind of emphasize that's a little funky is that one of the things, hoping that this doesn't spill when I add it here, we're good. Let's move this a little bit, rearrange. Okay. So one of the things that Korean people, every time that I had wanted to get this makchang, the large intestine, they would mention something like, oh, I didn't know Westerners enjoyed this. And I would always ask why, and they always gave me the same answer, because of the smell. So, get some beer with that. So, to me, the smell was more reminding me kind of home. When I was a kid, every year we would go to my uncle's ranch, and he had this chicken ranch, but just as part of our tradition, we would kill and roast a pig on his ranch. And so when I talk about killing and roasting a pig, I mean we'd kill the pig. So we'd get the pig, kill it, roast it. There was, a couple other preparation steps in there, like draining the blood, catching it to make a blood soup, draining the pig upside down. It was the kid's duty to hit it with like pine needle branches so that way it keeps the flies away. But otherwise, this is what we did. We had all the intestines and stuff just kind of hanging out. We personally didn't eat any of those, which now I feel like they kind of went to waste. This different one that I added on the plate, this is something from a cow called dechang. And I've had dechang once, and I just remember it being incredibly fatty. So I had some pictures that I took cooking it, and you can kind of see the way that they really shrank down, and they were just kind of sitting in a pool of their own fat. Here's how they look when you first start cooking them, with an extra picture just to show the texture on the inside. As these are cooking, they start to get kind of golden, kind of crispy on the outside, but the shorter one ended up looking kind of like Cthulhu, so this is how it looks before I cut into it. There are two ways to cut these. One is to cut down the side, and it turns into sort of a square, essentially. And so that's what I did with the Cthulhu one. The other one I'm going to cut into donuts. Now they're fully cooked, and the only thing left to do is to cut the Cthulhu one into strips. After the video was finished, this is what I came back to. Oh, this. It just tastes like eating fat, so that was not just a weird cut that I got. That definitely was indicative of the flavor. So I cut these a couple different ways. One of them is sort of a flat way where you slice it on one side, it kind of opens up like a page, and then you slice it from there. The other style is a donut style similar to this. Now I will say this does taste really good in terms of it being like fresh cooked. Otherwise, the sauce is okay. This is also a frozen product, but I had to thaw it and cook it myself, so it's completely raw. It gave two options. One was a pan and one was an air fryer. I didn't want to risk it in my air fryer. So let's go ahead and try it with this vegan mayonnaise. I know, we're so vegan here. And why not have a little of this garlic? The garlic really makes it. Let's do it with this guy too. Get a little garlic on there. Come on, you. Oh yeah. That's the stuff. About half of the time when you go with somebody to one of these places, you might get people that start to grill the garlic. I know with my normal group of people that I go out with to eat, I think everybody prefers the grilled garlic. I really like the raw garlic. That sharpness, I think, is a really nice contrast with this other flavor. Excuse me, my voice got a little froggy there. Nothing a little beer won't cure, right? Nice. Now I did have a last product that I wanted to try. This is pork skin. That's it. It's just pork skin. I wanted to see how this tasted at home, so we're gonna give that a try. Again, this one is also microwave. Just give me a sec. I have a very big nose, and it always likes to get involved in everything I'm doing. I don't know why. Let's see. Wow. This is looking all right. Now these are not fried. This is not like a pork rinds, or what's the word, chicharrones or something like that. Instead, we're gonna maybe turn it this way. Might look a little fuller and nicer on the camera. So these are going to be treated more like a meat. So you're going to grill them or otherwise prepare them, cook them in a pan, and just have at it. These are very sticky. And that's what you want. So if you've never had pork skin in this way, I would say it tastes like, how would you describe this pork? Just with the sauce, it has more of a, almost a Southeast Asian kind of flavor to it. This is something that if you serve this next to a bunch of rice with a bunch of cilantro. I bought cilantro. Give me a second. Let's try it. Let's just do it. Yeah! Yeah! Now, I absolutely love cilantro. You might know it as coriander leaves. In Korean, it is gosu. Now, this is not something that is a thing for Korean food. I've seen some people that have these quick meals, or, you know, some kind of like meal related Instagram or TikTok where they show you how to make a food using an ingredient. And I've seen people say, oh, it's Korean whatever. A Korean meat, a Korean tofu, a Korean fried rice. And they call it Korean because they added the gochujang to it, which is the spicy red pepper paste. And then they just add a bunch of like lime and cilantro. I have lime. Hang on. I got lime. I mean lime juice. I got it. All right, let's do it. But they'll add like lime and cilantro and stuff, and then they'll say, oh, it's Korean. It's not Korean, okay? Just say that you really like Vietnamese food, all right? That's fine. It's not Korean just because there's gochujang in it. Koreans don't really use this in their cooking. Thankfully, it's a little easier to find. It's still a little bit expensive to buy, but definitely still affordable. Just something I if I was in the States, it's a little bit more expensive here. So I'm gonna give this a go. Let's do it. I'm really excited. Oh yes. That's great. Oh, that's so good. I wasn't sure what I was gonna do with these, especially if I didn't like them. This, I think, is really nice. If I were to turn this into a meal with rice next to it, I think I would add sliced onion and maybe even a cooked egg. Kind of add that on top, sort of a nasi goreng sort of appearance, I guess. I think that's what it is, nasi goreng or mi goreng. I'm not 100% sure the difference. Both of them have an egg on it. Anyway, so that sounds really good. So this, again, it's really chewy. It's got a nice porky quality to it, but it isn't something that you would consider maybe fatty or meaty. It's just definitely chewy. It sticks a little bit to your teeth when you eat, not in an off-putting way. And it definitely tastes like pork. So if you were eating this and you had no idea what animal it came from, you would guess pork. That's how you want to think about this guy. For these other ones, let's go ahead and just kind of give a taste review for those of you guys that have never had this before. How many of you, by the way, have eaten intestines in some form? And how many of you would be interested in eating intestines if you haven't had them before? I hope that with some of these videos that they encourage people to try new kinds of food. One of the things I really don't like being asked is, what weird food have you eaten in Korea? And I'm just like, what do you mean by weird? It's just food, you know? Is it weird because, you know, it's a very subjective term, right? So what do you mean by weird? Is it, you know, stuff that we eat in the States would be considered weird in Korea. So let's go ahead and just have this guy for a taste explanation. I'm gonna have to do my best here because it is really overpowered by that sauce. It's a nice sauce, but I would say just really overpowered by the sauce. Which is a little bit disappointing because I do like the flavor of the intestines by themselves. So usually the type of flavor you're going to expect is a little bit of a gamey, really deep, juicy pork chop kind of flavor. I prefer the pig intestines to the cow intestines. And there's a third option. So this is the daechang. I tried to find a very specific explanation of what this is. And this appears to be part of the colon, like the large intestine, for a cow. And then the cow's makchang appears to be part of the third or fourth stomach. I thought it was the other way around, but that's what I found online. None of my Korean friends know. Trust me, I've asked a million times. This one, it just tastes like animal fat. I would say there's that greasiness more associated with like a steak, like a beefy fat. I feel like pork fat and beef fat have a different texture to them. I always feel like pork fat is a little bit more toothsome, like a little bit more chewy, where something like a beef fat is a little more gristly, and I would say this is more of a gristly kind of flavor to it. For the small intestine, we'll see if we can taste anything or if it's just going to be, overpowering sauce again. Mm, overpowering sauce. Yeah. Let's get that with a little cucumber action. Maybe not a good idea. Cucumber might be more of a palate cleanser. So, again, with this, it's going to be more of a deep kind of pork flavor. The reason that I prefer the makchang, the big one, to the gopchang, the small one, is just the texture is a lot more interesting because there's more of it. So we can maybe look at that. Hopefully, can find like a really good example. I'm gonna just give me a sec, guys. I know some people are weird about food and stuff, so I'm gonna clean that with my tongue. And here's kind of what we can see. I'm hoping I don't drop this. You can see it, yeah. So inside, you can see there's kind of a different texture from that. It's not a skin, but it's like that outer layer. And because of that, you get a really nice texture comparison or contrast. You're going to get a really good bite as well. It's like a really good chew. It's going to have a lot of the good flavor to it. I would say the gopchang tastes very similar. It's just it's so much thinner. I don't enjoy eating it as much. Overall, flavor-wise, they're pretty similar stuff. But I think it's just a better bite if you're gonna have the big guy. That being said, I'm gonna wrap this up with a beer that I bought. This one has alcohol, so I'm probably gonna share it as opposed to drink the whole thing. Boy, you can see just how hot it is. I don't know if it's no, it's not really showing up on camera. This is sweating. This is such a sweaty thing. So this is sort of a pop-up shop that I saw, and it's butter beer. I asked, well, how many calories are in this? And they said, well, it's a butter essence, not made from butter. They didn't put butter in it, but it's a butter essence. It's also supposed to taste like, they have another flavor. There's like a almond one. There's a caramel. I think this is vanilla. Let me just, yeah. I'm not sure. I mean, if you're the type of person that doesn't like the flavor of beer and you really like sweet types of beers, yeah, I would say definitely give this a try. I'm not that kind of person. Let me just get my nose for a second. Sorry again. Like I said, this every time I eat something hot, spicy, if it's cold outside, my nose just starts just going. So wonderful. I'm not the biggest fan of sweet beer. It just kind of tastes like, I don't know, some kind of caramel milkshake sort of flavor going on, and then there's a beer background to it, and it's not good. I don't think they blend very nicely together. That's my take on it. Quite frankly, I was drawn to the place because there were so many people lined up to go to this pop-up shop. I mean, it was really just something. You know, all these people lined up there, and I thought, okay, well, I gotta try it. I tried it. Eh. You might be asking yourself, okay, well, does it taste like butter? No. That's one reason I was a little disappointed that it was all flavors. There's a vanilla, a caramel, an almond, and a hazelnut. Well, that's what I taste. I taste vanilla, And there is sort of a caramel hint to it, but I know this isn't the caramel one. I mean, that's all I taste is vanilla. That's it. I don't taste butter. I don't taste beer. I taste like a background, like that drunk uncle kind of background. You got that one uncle who constantly drinks. Every time at the family reunion you show up, he's already drunk somehow. Like he got out of his car already drunk, and he insists that he wasn't driving drunk. And he's got that mustache and that beard, and he goes and says, "Hey, long time no see." Tries to give you a hug, a kiss on the cheek, whatever, and there's that stale beer on his breath. That's the background. I feel like this is less of a beer and more of a gimmick. Um, Especially aimed at people that do not like beer, but again, with that background. Ugh. I'm going to stick with this. So Heineken, if you want to send me more of these, if you want me to if you want to sponsor me, let me know, okay? This is, no non-alcoholic, and it's got 69 calories. Nice. On that note, I hope this was fun for you. It was fun for me. I'm surprised that I liked the skin as much as I did. I think that was the best one. Having cooked this at home on the fryer and just getting that same really good crispiness that I would get at a bar where you grill it at your table, I think I would probably try the makchang, the big guy. Try it at home, but do it from raw. I think that really made me less scared to give it a try. I don't know why I was worried about it. I guess it was just the idea of contamination or something, but as I was cooking it, I thought, well, why would I think this is more contaminated than, chicken breast or something? So, yeah, I'm really pleased with it overall. I would definitely buy this one again, especially to share with friends. I think it's a great idea, and I'm glad people can now get the stuff at home. If you guys have any questions or comments, feel free to post it in the comment section below. The pinned comment has a bunch of different ways to contact me, and you guys probably notice I don't have ads on my videos, so if you do want to help kind of sponsor the channel, then you can do so for as little as $1 a month on Patreon and get early access to videos, and we have like a group chat that we do. It's a live stream. So hope to see you there. Otherwise, thanks for listening. I just want to add a quick thank you to my patrons. Your donations on Patreon help me to afford the types of things that we can enjoy on these taste test videos. If you guys want to help out and you're not really financially in a situation to offer these types of monthly donations, that's okay. You can give me some recommendations or other ideas on things that you would like me to try. Thanks again. There you go. This is some of the unseasoned, very fatty. He was just out here lurking outside, being Krampus. Look at him. He's so big.